Apparently this is your partner.
Simone.
Simone Cachetone. Go ahead and write in your notes, please. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, Marcelino, you can either keep these all for yourself, share them with the dude you just fist pumped, or share them with your entire section here. Everybody go like this, please, and say which choice are you going to select? Question mark. Drum roll, please. Because how are you going to learn how to give if you haven't even learned how to get? Some kids have never gotten anything. How in the world do you expect them to be givers of things that they've never received? So Marcelino. How come like some are getting like 4 and some are only getting 1? Stay on. I don't want to offend anybody. I'm showing you by modeling the way I connected with those gang kids, because half the kids in North San Juan were in a gangs or wanted to be in a gang. And I had to figure out, how do I connect with those kids as well? Okay? In 10th grade, if you teach 10th grade, raise your hand. Somebody named, everybody say hello,
My name is Alyssa.
It's Alyssa. I've never heard that. I asked her to wear her hair this way. I'm going to turn her volume up just a little bit. Can you hear her better? Say it a little bit louder.
Alyssa.
There was an Alyssa in my life in 10th grade who said, Bill, you're not stupid. You're not a loser. You have value and worth. And I want you to come to my classroom and help me out once in a while. Because it was a Christian school that had a lot of flexibility. I don't feel comfortable. I don't have as many chest hairs as this guy. So if you can write this in your notes, Transformers. They're sort of superheroes. I used to be the loser, the stupid kid, but there was a transformer in my life. And so I'm going to ask you to invest $6 to $8 in a shirt that has transformer on it. And once a week, or once a month if you're poor, you're going to choose your transformer of the week or the month. Who's not amazing yet, but who transformed the most over this past week or this past month? They won't wear that shirt. If you can lean forward, sweetheart. Lean forward.
This way?
I just place it over the back of her chair. I said, my transformer of the week is parked right there, or the month. And I let her know what she transformed in. Now, because of somebody like you, I ended up being the valedictorian of my senior class and the student of the year, and they gave big trophies at our school. I'm not going to tell you that there were only 4 seniors. I was also in the top 25 of my class, if you're good at math. But do you think that I would have been able to transform if it wasn't for that teacher who believed in me? Because those kids at the homes have parents who are working and working and working. I didn't have a lot of competition in terms of quality time. I got to see them a lot more, and because half the time I was self-contained where I had them all day, and half the time they were like, hey Bill, can you do the writing? I'll do your reading. Bill, can you do the writing? I'll do your math. Okay, Bill, pretty soon I was doing like 4 classrooms of writing. But that's hard because you're having to grade a lot of essays. And then Mr. Bard was going to say, I need those 150 essays by tomorrow. Sadly, dude, you're not getting them tomorrow. I don't want you to ever grade for quantity, grade for quality. Because TEA started telling the old company, ETS, if you could grade 126 essays in one day, we'll give you a $15 bonus if you can do it within 4 hours or less. If you can grade 210 essays in 8 hours, we'll give you a $30 bonus. And so, just be honest with me. Raise your hand if you like money. That was extrinsic motivation. So guess what, Mr. Butler? There were a lot of people grading 210 essays per day per person. And in my personal opinion, they were grading for quantity, not for what? Quality. And we need to teach for quality, not quantity. I might not get much out of that kid, but I might say, oh, mijo, she got Transformer, but you get SpongeBob. So write SpongeBob. What does a sponge typically do? They're never going to get your testing grades approaches. They won't make it to meets or masters, but they're the ones who are going to absorb the most that week and get a little bit gooder and a little bit gooder. Sorry, I like to talk the way the kids write. They're better at talking. And so again, the same thing applies to SpongeBob that would apply to Transformer. Once a week or once a month, pick a student that showed some growth in some area. Does it always have to be academic? If all you care about is the grade your kid gets, you should quit teaching now. I would not have transformed without her. Jan Snyder, I want to thank you from the heart of my bottom. The bottom of my heart for transforming my life and making me who I am today. So let me ask you, can one person make a difference in a child's life?
Yes.
I was in 10th grade. Sometimes they think, oh, they're in high school, they're beyond hope. No, never believe that a child is beyond hope. There was a guy next to Jesus on the cross. He lived an entire life of choloism. And he said, hey, sir, can you remember me when you get to your magic kingdom? Oh no, that's Disneyland. When you get to your kingdom, and he said, dude, today you're going to be with me in paradise. So it's not the quantity of time that you can change a person, it's the quality. Can I make an impact on that child's life in some way to make him or her a better person in even one way? So the first thing I want you to write down is, see your students, or you can make it personal, see my students as the superheroes they have the potential to be. Because is that, honestly, be honest with me, is that how every teacher sees every student as a superhero? I'll be honest with you. What was the sentence for people that like repetition? See the students as what?
As superheroes.
As the superheroes they have the potential to be. Period. Have you ever felt like hugging a student around the neck? In my last year of teaching, Johnny Garcia was that student. I hated his guts. I'm just being honest. And the only reason I'm telling you is because some of you have probably felt like a failure because of one student that you couldn't connect with. I wanted to hug him, but not in the ways that he probably needed it. So when I got that district teacher of the year, he helped me move forward to my decision. I'm gonna quit teaching and go into consulting so I can say bye to Johnny. So one day I remember being in my classroom, I said, guys, this is my last year as a teacher. Fourth graders, I won't see you next year in fifth grade. And the kids did, oh, sir, we're gonna miss you. Stay one more time so we can see you next year. And I looked at Johnny really quickly and I said, my wife and I talked about it, and we feel like for the best interest of our family and for maybe other students and other teachers who just need a different approach, I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. And I told them, that I was gonna miss them, that I was very grateful for them, and all of a sudden there was this one kid in the back of the classroom who threw himself on the floor. He was going into convulsions. Do you know what mocos are? Mocos were going everywhere. I couldn't even talk anymore. I said, can somebody find out what's wrong with Johnny? And the kids were like, sir, I think he's sad that you're leaving. And I said, no, that can't be it. Find out what happened. And so in his dialogue journal the next morning, he said, Mr. MacDonald, please do not quit teaching. I know you're doing it because of me. You're the only one who hasn't given up on me. My own father hates me more than you do. Johnny, I don't hate you. Just broke the 9th commandment. I said, Johnny, you just made life so difficult that I felt like a failure. And I realized, guys, when you teach for 12 years, that's like 120 to 150 kids. Stop judging your success as a teacher based on one student that didn't go the way that you thought. What's happening is some of you are so focused on one tree that you're neglecting an entire forest of kids who grew and were fruitful and prosperous, if that makes sense. And I'm going to ask you to be honest with me. How many have ever gotten discouraged or felt like quitting teaching for at least one reason or more? Be honest. And I want you to think in your head. Think concrete. Think GPS. Everybody say GPS.
GPS.
You can write GPS in your notes. GPS means get pretty specific. I want to imagine, the pay, the behavior, my principal. Oh, no, not. Dijo, guayete. Está ahí atrás. Just think, you don't need to write any. I want you to think of every single reason that you've been discouraged as a teacher that would make you want to quit. And raise one finger for each reason that popped your head. If you have more than 10, this will be 10. And then you can add 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So think for a moment of all the specific reasons. The one I hated was the lesson plans. Do they still have those? Where once a year you have to write lesson plans? Oh, it was once a year? Once a week? Sorry. I was that person that was back in paper land. I was just sticking in the bottom of the pile. I just hated those. But your lesson plans are a prescription to help your students who don't need Band-Aids. They probably need surgery. And every week you have to write prescriptions as doctors. your subject area. So just show me your fingers, put your hands behind your back, everybody. How much does this mean?
10.
Yeah, somebody might have more than 10 reasons to get out of here. So I don't mean to, if somebody leaves right during the break, I just discourage them too much. Ready? Think about how many, and just be honest. Show me the number of reasons you could have quit now by raising those fingers. Go. 2. If you have none, then just give me, I love teaching so much. It's either a person, a place, a thing, or something. Do they still have this thing called red tape? There's a lot of red tape, a lot of paperwork that you have to do. Yeah. I've never seen the actual red tape before, so I was like looking for like some red tape. Literally, I'm a literal learner. So I'm gonna beg you guys, don't use those reasons as justification to leave. Imagine that you are going to be transforming even one student. Because if it wasn't for Jan Snyder, I would not be here today sharing some ideas with you. Because if you make an influence on one kid, it could transform an entire community, an entire state. In my writing club, I have 7,500 members that I'm influencing around the world. Because I can't do in 6 hours what needs to happen in 6 months. So if you teach reading, make sure you join my reading and writing club. If you need motivation, you're gonna join my Horns to Halo club. If you're a math teacher, you're gonna join my Common Sense math club. Because I'm like, I can't do in 6 hours what needs to happen in 6 months. So just make sure you get with me so you can, if you have Facebook, raise your hand. If you don't believe in Facebook, raise your other hand. Then you'll email me, and I have YouTube videos. It's on this thing called internet. You just, you'll go to there, and then I can send you YouTube links to ideas and strategies that will help you, okay? So here's what I want you to do with your partner